We're talking about today, and that is the Sacramento Kings are allegedly interested in a man by the name of Mr. Russell Westbrook and Mr. Malcolm Brogdon. Of course, right here, I have the slides, I believe, backwards as we're going to go all the way to the front. But the Sacramento Kings, as I go on the fly, according to reports, are interested in finding a point guard. Now, it seems like Tyus Jones is going to Orlando, with Russell Westbrook and Malcolm Brogdon potentially being the two guys available. I'd like to hear your guys' opinions in the comment section down below. What do you guys think of this report and why? I think the biggest thing for me is that I'd rather have Russell Westbrook health-wise, and I know he technically had a better three-point shooting season than Malcolm Brogdon did for the Washington Wizards this past year. However, I can understand that on paper, some might think someone like a Brogdon would be a better fit than Westbrook. However, the Kings do need a table setter, as by the end of last season, their only table setter was Markelle Fultz. That was like a true point guard. Now, Russell Westbrook averaged 13 points, 6 assists, on almost 5 rebounds per game, shooting 44% from the field and 32% from 3. His three-point shot had some good months. Other months, it wasn't as good. Then Malcolm Brogdon only played 24 games this past year, and he's really had health and durability concerns over the past few seasons. And he averaged just under 13 points, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds almost on 43% from the field, but 28% from 3. He had a rougher year shooting the basketball. And that is, I think, a room, an area for concern if you are a Kings fan bringing in Brogdon. If I had my druthers, I would obviously be choosing Westbrook just because of the reports showing that he could be healthy. And obviously, the dark horse right here that we're also going to talk about and isn't going to be the prime guy, but it's Dennis Schroeder. It seems like they're trying to get Dennis Schroeder. Regardless, if they do or don't get Dennis Schroeder, they would like to bring one of Russell Westbrook or Malcolm Brogdon. Again, I'd rather have Schroeder and Westbrook. I could understand saying that it's going to be cheaper to bring in Schroeder and Mr. Brogdon, but obviously thinking that Schroeder is going to come here and be a part of this guy is going to be able to average like 14 and 7, even be like a borderline 20 point per game scorer if he was really given the reins to do that. But if you look at the Kings, this is a team that's just under $170 million of committed salary currently. They don't have a true point guard. Zach LaVine, Malik Monk. Malik Monk's more suited to be a six-man playing the shooting guard position. Devin Carter's his only point guard, but he's young. Didn't play much his rookie year due to injury, and he still has to prove it. While DeMar DeRozan and Domantas Sabonis are their two best ball handlers, this is a team that having Schroeder, LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, Sabonis be your starting lineup, then you have Malik Monk and let's say Russell Westbrook. That's your two guards off the bench. Throw in Nick Clifford, and all you have now is a hole at power forward because I assume you're not going to play Terrence Davis and Nick Clifford there, and you need to bring somebody in from free agency. And you still have Maxime Renault and Jonas Valanciunas. I think that's like an improvement on the roster. Again, this is all assuming that you're going to go out and get yourself a guy in the name of Dennis Schroeder and then also bringing in Westbrook. I also think it'd be fine if you brought in Brogdon. I think Westbrook's the better defender, better player at this point in their career. And it seems like they're equally shaky three-point shooters. And to me, I think if you look at the Kings, yes, defense has been a problem. I think offense has been less of a problem, but I really do believe that this is a team that if they can solve the point guard position, they're not going to become contenders, but they can at least become more realistic playoff contenders that aren't actually going to have to go through the play-in to make it to the said playoffs. So that's the biggest thing for me. And I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you think should happen if you're the Wow. Did not know what I said right there. If you were the Sacramento Kings. Now, Sacramento has been a team that's obviously they went all in on making the playoffs, but then they had short-sighted moves. So Scott Perry, the new general manager, and obviously newly taken off the label interim head coach turned head coach, Doug Christie, is a guy who emphasizes defense. And I think they have enough offensive players on this team that if you can really just fill out the defense, this is a lot better of a constructed roster than it had been in the past. So that's my 2 cents on that one. And I'd like to hear your guys' if you guys agree with me on that. I definitely think it's an interesting one to say the least, where bring in Dennis Schroeder, and hopefully, I mean, if you don't get Schroeder, bring in both Westbrook and Brogdon at that point. But if you can do Schroeder and Westbrook, I think that's a pretty decent turn of events